Snuff Hour!
My name is Cracked Rack, and welcome to Snuff Hour. I am not a film reviewer. I am not a film critic. My goal here today is to showcase the worst and most grotesque American films and their worst scenes to you, with clinical observation and a desire for you to feel the weight so many avoid. Today I will be observing and showcasing to you the worst of Halloween 6, a generally laughed at and dismissed film that actually has a lot of extreme and shocking content. I will be guiding you through this one today. I will censor just a few parts involving minors, but that will not protect you. Let's get started. The film starts with Michael Myers' niece, who is only 15 years old throughout the entire film, giving birth to Michael's baby. It is insinuated that Michael had sexual intercourse with his 15-year-old niece. All of this, however, is the work of a cult, a druid cult that has no problem harming children for the sake of their goals. This cult controls Michael Myers and grants him his abilities. Unsurprisingly, the teenage girl attempts to flee for her life, taking her baby with her. However, it is severely underestimated how close on their tail Michael Myers is. The little girl, who is effectively a child, does her best to escape and does a decent job at it, but doesn't understand what she's up against. In a surprisingly mature act of survival for her age, she manages to commandeer a random person's truck and tries to warn him of the danger, but he just doesn't understand any of the context and cannot act in a safe manner. The girl manages to escape, for now, but it doesn't last long. She has a glimpse of survival for a minute there, but unfortunately veers off the road and doesn't know how to control the vehicle, likely due to her inexperience in driving. She hides in a farmhouse for a decent amount of time, but accidentally makes too loud of a footstep noise, alerting Michael Myers of her location immediately. Michael grabs the underage child by the throat and throws her onto a corn thresher, which immediately impales her. She throbs in agony for a good several seconds, while Michael lacks any remorse. Michael even makes a false attempt to comfort the struggling child, only to push her further into the corn thresher. We are then introduced to the protagonists of the film, who are ultimately irrelevant to what makes this film disturbing, so we won't be talking about them much. My goal is to discuss the most disturbing parts of the film in a clinical fashion, not review the movie. But to summarize, so you aren't confused, it's just a dysfunctional household with a lot of members and a highly narcissistic, possibly malignant narcissist father, as well as an enabling mother. They live in the Michael Myers house together in an unhappy fashion where DV happens seemingly regularly. One of the children from the original Halloween films is also one of the characters here, and he plays a pivotal role, but also irrelevant to the horror. One day, the enabling mother is warned about Michael Myers and his attraction to the house by Dr. Loomis from the original film. She, of course, ignores the warning, which leads us to the next disturbing scene. As she's doing laundry, she feels an immense sense of being watched and is very uncomfortable and tries to warn her husband about it.
And he told me about the terrible things that happened here in our house.
Deborah, what the hell are you doing? Talking to strangers? Letting them in our house?
John!
The other characters get very uncomfortable and meet up because they decide that they need to protect one another from Michael Myers, though none of them know about the kid. The little boy starts to have sightings of Michael Myers, while the adults are none the wiser.
Mommy? Mom?
The malignant narcissist father from earlier starts wandering around the house aimlessly, not understanding that he's been called to go home.
Tell me, kids, how's it feel to finally pull Halloween out of the proverbial Haddonfield closet?
Tommy Doyle starts to hear a child sing weird things about red rain and how there's red rain pouring down on him, which is very concerning and strange, so he investigates, only to make a shocking discovery. One of the young adults living in the Myers house decided to bring a girl home and have sexual intercourse with her. It goes to plan until afterwards.
Hey Beth, could you bring a towel in here? I'm freezing.
What I've shown you thus far is a majority of the actual disturbing content in the film, though I decided to skip to the end, so we could see a bit more before ending this video. Now it is time for the final chase sequence, in which Michael Myers attempts to retrieve the baby that he impregnated his niece with one last final time. At this point, Michael has run into a dead end and has very little leverage anymore. That's when this happens. So there you go. That was a quick little snuff hour preview of Halloween 6. Now, I wanted to start you guys off nice and easy, so I chose a less scary horror film, but I still thought there were some genuinely disturbing moments. But don't get comfortable. I'm still going to review a Serbian film or a human centipede next. I'm not quite sure. That's all. Thanks for watching.